It's 2 a.m., you wake up to a burning pain in your big toe, sharp, relentless, like someone lit a fire under your foot. Every sheet, every movement, even rolling over in bed, feels impossible. And have you ever wondered, could the very pill you take every day for your heart be secretly making your gout worse? It sounds impossible, but this is exactly what many older adults face. Night after night, flare after flare. And what I'm going to share with you could help you regain pain-free nights, protect your joints, and maybe even add years of healthier, active living. If you want to stay with me through this, make sure you hit subscribe, not just for tips, but for practical steps that could finally reduce your gout flares and help you sleep through the night again. Let's be honest, living with gout isn't just painful, it's exhausting. The mornings you wake up stiff and swollen, afraid to put your foot on the floor. The evenings when even a simple walk to the kitchen feels like a battle. The frustration of skipping family dinners, avoiding your garden, or canceling outings because the pain controls your life. Does that feel familiar? Have you ever sat on the edge of your bed staring at your toe and thought, will this ever stop? And the worst part? You've been careful. You watch what you eat. You take your medications faithfully, yet the flares keep coming, night after night, week after week. It steals your freedom, your confidence, your joy. I want to know, where are you watching from and what time is it for you right now? Morning with coffee, mid-afternoon, or late at night when the pain won't let you sleep? Leave a comment. You're not alone. Thousands of people over 60 struggle with gout the same way. Tonight, we're going to uncover a hidden reason behind your pain, one that almost no one talks about, and I'll show you practical steps that could help you finally take control of your health. Let me pause for just a moment and introduce myself. My name is Dr. Jonathan Miller. For more than 30 years, I've had the privilege of walking alongside older adults, listening to their stories, treating their illnesses, and most of all, trying to give them back the quality of life they deserve. And if I've learned anything in those 3 decades, it's this. Our past habits leave fingerprints on our present health. Think back to how many of us grew up eating. Dinners out of cans, fast food picked up on the way home, fried chicken, burgers, salty snacks, and soda, cheap, filling everywhere you turned. Back then, nobody really warned us what decades of that would do. But our bodies kept the score. Slowly, silently, the arteries stiffened. Blood pressure crept higher. Plaque built up like rust inside a pipe. And by the time many of us reached retirement age, the heart had already carried years of hidden damage. So what did doctors do? They reached for a pill that seemed so simple, so harmless. Low-dose aspirin, a tiny tablet taken with breakfast said to protect the heart. It became almost a daily ritual for millions of Americans over 60. Maybe you're one of them. But here's the twist most people never hear. That very pill you believe is shielding your heart may be quietly fueling your gout. Why? Because aspirin doesn't just thin your blood. It also interferes with how your kidneys handle uric acid. Instead of flushing it out, your kidneys hold onto it. And uric acid, as you know, is the spark that lights the fire of gout. Crystal by crystal, joint by joint, until one night you're jolted awake by pain so sharp you can't even stand the weight of a bedsheet. And this isn't just theory. A major study published in Arthritis and Rheumatology tracked thousands of older adults and found that daily low-dose aspirin raised the risk of recurrent gout attacks by 81%. 81%. That's almost doubling your chances. Now let me ask you something. Did that surprise you? Have you ever wondered if the very medicine you trust could be working against you? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below. And while you're at it, tell me where you're listening from. Are you in a quiet town, a busy city, or maybe even outside the US? And what time is it for you right now? Morning coffee, midday break, or late at night when gout pain keeps you awake? Your answers remind others that they're not alone, and that gout is something we face together, not in silence. If you're listening to this and thinking, but my doctor told me I need aspirin for my heart, you're right. You must never stop it suddenly on your own. Aspirin can be life-saving for many people, but here's the deeper truth. Pills should not be your prison. What if, instead of relying forever on medication, you built a body so resilient that over time, you and your doctor might actually reduce your need for it? Wouldn't that feel like freedom? And that freedom begins with small daily choices. Take sugar, for example. A Harvard study followed 46,000 men for over 12 years. Those who drank just one sugary soda a day had an 85% higher risk of gout compared to those who rarely did. 85%. That's not a small number. Cutting soda isn't just about weight, it's about unlocking nights of pain-free sleep. Let me ask you, do you still keep soda in the house just in case, or have you already tried switching to water or unsweetened tea? Share your story. Your change might inspire someone else. Now let's look at processed meats. Those quick fixes, ham, salami, hot dogs feel convenient, but they are purine bombs. Each slice nudges uric acid higher, fueling gout like gasoline on a fire. But here's the hopeful part. Replace just 2 of those meals a week with fresh chicken, turkey, or lentils, and you can lower uric acid measurably within 30 days. Imagine what consistent choices over months could do. Between soda and deli meat, which feels harder for you to give up. Be honest in the comments. We all struggle somewhere. And let's not forget hydration. Think of your kidneys as a river. With steady water flow, uric acid is carried away. Without it, crystals settle like jagged rocks in a dry stream bed. Aim for 8 to 10 cups daily. It's simple, but I'd love to know, how do you prefer your water? Ice cold? With lemon? Herbal tea? Share it, because small rituals make habits stick. Movement is another quiet healer. No marathons required. Even a 20-minute daily walk can change your life. In fact, a study in the Journal of Aging and Health showed seniors who walked daily cut gout flare-ups nearly in half. Think about that. Half as many nights of agony, half as many mornings limping to the bathroom. What time of day would be easiest for you to fit in that 20 minutes? Sunrise? Afternoon? Evening stroll? Write it down. That small act of commitment makes it real. And then the journal. Write what you eat, what you drink when the pain comes. Patterns will emerge. For one, it's beer. For another, it's shrimp. For you, it might be stress. Knowledge makes you powerful. And here's the most powerful part of all. When you start making these lifestyle changes, choosing water over soda, cooking fresh meals instead of tearing open a box, walking each day instead of sitting still, something beautiful happens. Your body thanks you. Not only does the stabbing pain of gout begin to quiet down, but your heart, your blood vessels, your energy all grow stronger. You're not just easing gout, you're rebuilding your health from the ground up. And if you stay consistent, there may come a day when your doctor looks at you and says, "You're doing so well, you don't need aspirin anymore." Imagine that moment. No more daily pill. No more quiet fear of side effects. Just you, living lighter, freer, stronger. Wouldn't that feel incredible? Tell me honestly, do you have that dream too, to one day set the aspirin bottle aside and know your body is strong enough on its own? If you do, write it in the comments. Share that hope, because when you say it out loud, it becomes more than a wish, it becomes a goal. Let me share the story of George. He's 68, a retired electrician from Ohio, a man who spent his whole life fixing other people's problems, but couldn't fix his own. For years, gout had chained him down. The flare-ups came like cruel surprises in the night. He would wake at 2 a.m., clutching his foot, gasping as if knives were twisting in his joint. His wife once found him on the bathroom floor, whispering, "I can't take this anymore." And like so many older Americans, George was also on a daily aspirin for his heart. He never missed a pill. In his mind, that little tablet was his shield. "Doc, at least my heart is safe," he once told me. But here's the heartbreaking part. Despite his dedication, his gout grew worse. More pain, more swelling, more nights stolen. Then came the night that changed everything. His wife invited me over for dinner. A kind gesture, a simple meal. But what I saw on that table made my stomach sink. Canned sausages, deli ham, a pile of white bread, soda in tall glasses, and for dessert, a tray of sugary pastries. George laughed as he reached for a hot dog and said, "Doc, don't worry, I'm covered. I take my aspirin every morning." I froze. I couldn't stay silent. I set my fork down and said, almost with a lump in my throat, "George, this is why you're suffering. Aspirin may guard your heart, but these foods are stabbing your joints. You've been fighting one battle while fueling another. It's like locking your front door while leaving every window wide open." He stopped mid-bite. His wife's smile faded. The room went silent. And in that silence, truth hit harder than any flare-up ever had. His pain wasn't random. It was being served to him, meal after meal. Have you ever had that moment of realization? Looking at your own plate and suddenly seeing the enemy staring back at you? That dinner became the turning point. We cleared the table that night, not just of food, but of old habits. I explained how processed meats, sodas, and refined carbs flood the body with uric acid, sparking those midnight fires in his joints. And I told him something else. Something I want you to hear too. If you change what's on your plate, George, the day may come when your doctor says you don't need that aspirin anymore. Imagine that freedom. Imagine waking up pain-free without pills at your bedside. George sat back, eyes moist, and whispered, "Doc, that would be the first time in 10 years I'd feel like myself again." Let me ask you now, what's on your table tonight? Is it healing you or is it hurting you? And deeper still, do you want that same freedom George dreamed of? Tell me in the comments, because sharing your promise may be the very first step to making it real. Let's stop for a moment and take in everything we've just uncovered. George's struggle is not just George's struggle. It's the struggle of millions of older adults. People who wake up night after night with joints on fire. People who line up their pill bottles every morning, aspirin for the heart, blood pressure meds, maybe something for diabetes, and yet still feel trapped inside a body that seems to betray them. Maybe that's you. Maybe you've whispered the same words George once did. I can't take this anymore. And now, here's what we know. Aspirin is not the villain. It protects the heart, but it cannot erase the damage done by the foods most common on an American dinner table. Processed meats, sugary drinks, refined carbs. These are not just bad habits. They are accelerators of uric acid, fuel for the fire of gout, and silent enemies of your sleep and mobility. The real trap is believing the pill will cover for the plate. It won't. Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever looked down at your dinner and thought, is this meal helping me or is it hurting me? That was the very moment that changed George's life. The night he realized the pain wasn't random, it was being served to him fork by fork. And here's the good news. When he started changing, even just a little at a time, his body responded. Within weeks, his sleep improved. Within months, his flare-ups were cut in half. His uric acid levels dropped, his blood pressure came down, and for the first time in a decade, his cardiologist hinted at lowering his medication. Imagine that. The same man who once sat on his bathroom floor at 2 a.m. whispering, "I can't do this," was now hearing, "Keep going, you may not need this pill forever." What about you? Which part of George's turnaround feels most powerful to you? The sleep, the freedom from pain, or the hope of hearing your doctor say, "You don't need that aspirin anymore"? Share it below. Your answer might inspire someone else tonight. And here's what I want you to take with you. George wasn't stronger than you. He wasn't luckier. He wasn't younger. He simply chose to begin. One soda swapped for water. One plate of chicken instead of canned sausage. One short walk after dinner instead of collapsing into the chair. It didn't happen overnight. It won't for you either. But every small change stacked together built him a new body, a new life. So I'll ask you directly, what promise will you make to yourself tonight? To your joints, to your heart, to your future? Maybe it's to cut out one processed food. Maybe it's to walk 10 minutes after dinner. Maybe it's to drink water instead of soda. Drop your promise in the comments. Not for me, for yourself. Because once you say it out loud, you've already taken the first step. And remember this, hope isn't something you wait for. Hope is something you build, bite by bite, step by step, day by day. If George could reclaim his nights, his laughter, and even his freedom from medication, then so can you. And if George could turn his story around, so can you. But don't try to walk this road alone. That's why this channel exists, so we can fight gout, protect our hearts, and build stronger lives together. Tell me in the comments, where are you listening from, and what time is it for you right now? I'd love to see the moments when you're choosing to care for yourself. If today's message touched you, hit like and share it with a friend who needs the hope. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. Not just for tips, but for the strength of a community that believes tomorrow can be better than today. This is Dr. Jonathan Miller, thanking you for spending this time with me. Until next time, take care of your heart, protect your joints, and remember, your story is still being written.